Hello, students. Today we're going to take a look at summarizing and apply this skill to the power of the hero's journey. Let's begin with our learning objectives. So, our learning objective is that you'll be able to provide an objective summary of an informational text. As always, I would recommend beginning by watching the concept definition video, and let's go ahead and go through the introduction together. When you summarize a text, you briefly state the main points and most important details in the text in your own words. Summarizing can help you organize, explain, and remember concepts in an informative text or the events that take place in a story. So I'm sure that you are well aware of what summarizing means by now, but in a nutshell, it means just offering a shorter version of the story in your own words, or in the case of an informational text, the main points of the informational text. So, to summarize, going on to the next paragraph, you must decide what is most important as you read. Ask the basic questions: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Using your own words, write your answers to these questions from an objective point of view, which means without inserting your own feelings and opinions. So it is really fact finding. You are looking at the basic details, asking them the questions that they mentioned: who is it about? What is the situation? When is this taking place? Where is this taking place? Why is this happening? How does this happen? Whatever the questions are that are natural to it. And then you are writing your own answer. And it says here an objective point of view. This means that at this point, you are not inserting your own opinions about this or your own feelings. You're just sticking with the facts. All right, final paragraph. Summarizing is sometimes confused with paraphrasing. When you paraphrase, you do not condense a text down to its most important details. Instead, you restate the text in your own words. Well, wait a second. Didn't we just say that you use your own words when you're doing a summary? Yes, and in both cases, you do use your own words. The difference is, continuing, a summary is much shorter than the original text, while a paraphrase may be the same length as the original text. So, another way to put this is that when you are paraphrasing something, you're just saying it in a different way. You're not condensing it. You're not trying to shorten it necessarily. You're just stating it in a different way using your own words. However, when you're summarizing, then you're intentionally trying to make it shorter and explain a larger piece with fewer words. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the vocabulary tab. There are just a few key terms here that you want to make sure that you are familiar with. So go ahead and complete that drag and drop. And let's move over to the model tab. As always, in the top of the model tab, you have a checklist for applying this skill to text that you read. And on the lower half, you have a student model. So let's go ahead and go through the student model together. It says here, in the article, The Power of the Hero's Journey, author Louise Munson explains Joseph Campbell's theory of a 17-point journey that heroes throughout literature experience. You've read this by now and should be familiar with the content of this article. Writing an objective summary can help you demonstrate your comprehension of a complex text as you prepare to write an analysis. Let's look at how one reader determines what to include in an objective summary of one section of The Power of the Hero's Journey. So in the student example, they are looking at the second step of stage 1, which is called refusal of the call. And let's go ahead and take a look at, you can see here what that student has highlighted as being what they've identified as key details from that section. And let's take a look at that student's notes. I highlight the key details. The hero may at first refuse an adventure because changing his or her life is scary. And you can see how that is part up here in the top sentence, and then it's also these highlights here. Change is scary. All right, but refusing the call would mean the hero would be stuck in the old life and would lose the chance for a good story. So I think the student did a fantastic job of finding some important details, highlighting those important details, and then making it a nice, cohesive, easy to read little summary that really does, in briefer wording, tell you what this refusal of the call section is all about. So excellent work on her part. Says to accomplish her summary, the reader highlights details that are most important to the central idea of this section. The reader includes details in the summary that tell who, the hero, what, adventure, where, in his or her life story, when, at the time of the opportunity, why, because he or she is stuck, and how, by realizing that without changing, he or she will remain stuck. In addition, the reader is concise and avoids judgment words that include her personal opinion of the text. By writing a summary, she demonstrates her understanding of the author's key ideas. So yeah, all of those who, what, where, when, why, and how questions are answered in that short summary. And as was noted, the student did not have their own opinion of this step or their own judgment of it. It's just the basic facts. She continues reading, highlighting important details, and summarizing important information. So she jumps down to section or step 4 of phase 1, which is the crossing of the first threshold. And this is her summary based on what she highlighted. Before starting the journey, the hero must first face the threshold guardian. The guardian may be misleading, but may also have wisdom the hero needs. Past the threshold is a new world with new rules and a risk of death. And I immediately think of Yoda from Star Wars as being an excellent example of a threshold guardian, because when we first meet him, he is just this funny little green puppet with big ears, and you don't think that he's this master Jedi. And Luke goes to seek him out and doesn't believe that he's really the most powerful Jedi in the galaxy until later on when Yoda reveals himself to Luke Skywalker. So a little bit of Star Wars geekery for you, but that's what I think of as an example. But this is, again, an excellent summary of the main points of that step. So, just finishing this off, once again, the reader identifies the most important details and summarizes them, remembering to leave out anything extraneous. Extraneous means not relevant. Her summary is concise and written in a logical way that is not influenced by any of her personal feelings or opinions. So, hopefully, you get a good idea of what a proper summary looks like. It answers those who, what, when, where, why, how questions. It briefly hits the main ideas and key points of a text, and it avoids your own opinion or your own feelings or judgment and just sticks to the facts. All right, once you have finished going through the tabs, then head over to the Your Turn tab, and it's just a quick little 2-question check your own results kind of thing. So once you hit that and submit it, then you should be able to refresh your screen and check your results, and it will give you the right and wrong answers so you can learn from it. As always, if you need any help or have any questions on this, please let me know.